Minasan konnichiwa, Kondo moshimasu. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Khan, and welcome to episode 136 of Good or Garbage, the number one place where you can find out what stuff is being sold in a division on a weekly basis. And this week's Good or Garbage, we've got quite a few attachments, guns. There's some surprises in the gun section, but I don't think a lot of you guys, especially the OG guys, are really going to be looking for guns at this point. I think most people have the kinds of guns they want, but if you are looking for some attachments and maybe even some mods, you may find some pretty interesting stuff this week. The heads up section has been revamped a little bit. I've separated it so that guns are in certain places, attachments in another, and mods in another. So if you're looking for something in particular, then it'll be much easier to kind of get through that stuff so that you know what you're looking for. At the end of this video, there is a little bit of an announcement, so be sure to stick around for that. It is pretty important. And with all that being said, let's go. All right, now let's move on to the attachments for this week. At the advanced weaponry vendor this week, we have an extended magazine for sale with 114.5% magazine size, 3% critical hit chance, and a very nice 5.5% rate of fire increase. Now, it is rare to see something like this, just because having that crit chance can really help out with ARs and weapons that are not SMGs, and then having that much rate of fire is kind of rare. The only thing that would have made this even better would have been to have the magazine size in the 120, but still I'm okay with 114.5. That's still it's manageable. It'll work. But if you are looking for a rate of fire increase and you're trying to get that bump plus have some crit chance, then this is actually not a bad magazine to take a look at. So if you need that, head on over to the advanced weaponry vendor, check it out. At the DZ9 gear vendor, we have an Omega rifle suppressor this week, coming in with 18% headshot damage, 4.5% optimal range, 4% critical hit damage, and 45% reduced threat. Now, this is not a bad Omega rifle suppressor. Of course, there are better ones, but this one is the one that we got this week. So if you did make some kind of sniper build, seems like a lot of sniper rifles are floating around this week. Interestingly enough, the sniper rifle that would have been perfect for this was not sold anywhere, which is the M700 Carbon, strictly because that sniper rifle has less range than most of the other harder hitting sniper rifles. It's still a very good one. It's just the range and the fall off for that are kind of the worst. But with this muzzle, you'd get a little bit more range. You still get the critical hit damage and you get the headshot damage. So this is kind of a toss up depending on if you need it or not. But if you are looking for this, head on over to the vendor in DZ9 and go pick it up. At West 31st Street, we have the rugged mini reflex sight for sale. This one coming in with 7.5% critical hit chance, 4% critical hit damage, and 5% optimal range. If you are looking again to bump up your critical hit chance for maybe a weapon that doesn't natively have critical hit chance baked in, for example, the AR or the LMG or even a shotgun, this could be a pretty big deal for you, especially if you stack this with something like a high velocity mag that might have more crit chance, or if you don't want to go that route, you do have other options. So if you are looking for something like that, you can definitely go ahead and do it. Remember, it is over at West 31st Street. Go ahead, check it out. This week over at Camp Clinton, we have a small grip red for sale, coming in with 19% critical hit damage. It's about as high as you're gonna get it. It also comes with 4.5% optimal range, which will help out all of those SMGs. And it also comes with 4.5% reload speed, which will help you keep on shooting even more, even faster. So if you are looking for a small grip to go on I would probably say this would best be suited on an SMG. But if you are looking for something like that, then definitely head on over to Camp Clinton. Check it out. At West 42nd Street this week, we have a high velocity magazine for sale. This one with 7.5% critical hit chance, 4% damage, and 5% reload speed. A pretty good magazine, I would say. The only thing that would have made this better is if by some miracle it had a rate of fire, but this is still very good. You get high chance, you also get that damage, and then you get reload speed, which doesn't really work for a Lone Star build, but still, you know, you could try it out and use it. So if you are looking for something like this, head over to West 42nd Street and check it out. At East 61st Street, we have a VX1 12 times scope. This one coming in with 18% headshot damage, 2.5% stability, 2% accuracy. 18%. I would have liked to see this do a little bit better, but it is very rare to see a 12 times scope. If you are sniping and trying to actually hit your headshots, this is going to be performance wise one of the better scopes. It's just really good for hitting targets that are far away. One of my favorite scopes, if not this is definitely the favorite scope for me. As long as you're not using this with a Deadeye build, then you should be good to go. If you are using a Deadeye build, make sure that you go for probably the 3.4 times scope. That's probably a better scope for you. The zoom isn't as bad, and for closer targets to mid-range targets, it's still usable, but for longer ranges, you'll really want this. So this could work out really well for Sentry or any other kind of classic sniper build. So if you're looking for a sniper scope and you've been desperately looking for something that will perform right and perform like a sniper rifle scope should, then this is probably the one for you, the VX1. But yeah, 18% could be a little bit better, but it's still not that bad, and it is pretty rare. So if you need it, go get it. Now let's go take a look at this week's gear mods. At East 40th Street this week, we have a prototype stamina mod for sale. This one with 260 stam. It also comes in with a very nice 3,201 health. So if you are looking for health, and more health, then definitely go over to check this out over at East 40th Street. At West 42nd Street this week, we have a prototype electronics mod with 263 electronics. It also comes with 2.5% exotic damage resilience. Ooh, that's kind of hard to say, but it comes with that, and that's not too bad. If you are looking for something like EDR and you are speccing mostly into electronics for your damage, then this could work out well for you. So if you are looking for something like this, head over to West 42nd Street, check it out. At the DZ4 vendor, we have a prototype performance mod being sold with 6.5% support station range. If you are looking for this and you are trying to heal your teammates, then you may want to pick this up. There are better versions of this that go above 6.5, but this is the best that we have for this week. So if you are looking for this, you're desperate, you want to hold out maybe a little bit longer, or you just have bad luck and you haven't gotten anything in the 7 range, then go ahead and check this out. It will cost you DZ credits, so just keep that in mind when you go over there to pick it up. This week at Madison Stand, we have stamina mod for sale. This one coming in with the maximum 267 stam on it. And my least favorite major attribute, 2% all resistance. We've had this conversation. Tom Clancy's The Division. We've had this conversation many times. I do not like Green Eggs. Well, Green Eggs and Ham was a pretty good book, but I do not like 2% all resistance. That's all I can say about that. If you want to pick this up, you need maximum stam, go for it. But I really don't like all resistance, so we'll just leave it at that. At the Ward this week, we have a prototype performance mod being sold with 4% turret damage increase. If you are using turrets, maybe you have Firecrest and you want even more damage, then you can go ahead over to the Ward and pick this up for regular credits. Now let's take a look at the 280 to 283 gear score items. This week at the special equipment vendor, we have a very rare item. We have the Historian marksman rifle with a gear score of 281. I never really thought I would be talking about this weapon in Good or Garbage anymore, but here we are. We have a 281. This one comes in with 168% headshot damage. The talents for this are Balanced, Prepared, and History Repeats. Now, for those who are uninitiated, the Historian, the way that this works, the baked in perk for this, or talent I should say, History Repeats. Each bullet embeds itself into the target and detonates 1 second later for 700% of your firearms total. Now this build is my reclaimer build, so most of my stats are spec'd into electronics. But if you are making a firearm heavy build with the sniper rifle, then basically you will get 700% of what this number next to the little bullet triangle thing, whatever this number is. So if you have like 9,000 or even 10,000 or whatever, it will be 700% of that number will give you extra damage on top of what you get when you hit. Now the reason I'm recommending is kind of a strong word, but the reason why I'm talking about this weapon is because it's coming with Prepared in the second slot. So Prepared gives you extra damage, increased by 15% when you're more than 30 meters away, which is perfect for a sniper rifle. And it also comes with Balance. Balance used to be one of the greatest talents that people swore up and down about. I've made videos about how I didn't think it was all that, but we'll leave that alone. And this basically lets you zoom into your scope, or shoulder the weapon, not zoom in, but shoulder the weapon faster, so that little reticle kind of pinches in when you're ready to shoot. I would say get rid of this. I would say get rid of Balance, put something else a little bit more to your liking on how you're going to do damage, whether that be with headshot damage or whether that be with crits, and then just go with that and then leave Prepared, and then make sure that your firearms is as high as you're comfortable with, and then just rock it and then let that 700% come in. This is a faster firing weapon, so you will be able to get a lot of bullets in there, and you may have played with people who've used this and it sounded like they were shooting firecrackers. That's basically this weapon. So if you do not have one of these, or you want to try one out, maybe you have Deadeye or Century or something like that, and you just want to try it out with one of your builds, then go ahead and go for it. It's not, I wouldn't say it's the easiest to control or best sniper rifle in the game, but it could be something fun to use while you're playing the game as you like. So if you are interested in this, go over to the special equipment vendor in the base of operations and check it out. If you do pick it up, let me know. If you've never used it before, also let me know that too. This week at the Advanced Weaponry Vendor, we have a gear score 281 Police MK17. Now this is another one of the weapons that I did not think I'd be talking about, but apparently obscure sniper rifles seem to be the thing for this week, so this is one of them. Now this one, the reason I'm kind of talking about this is because it comes with Competent, Destructive, and Harmful. Competent, if you use a skill for 15 seconds, you'll have an extra 10% more damage. With Destructive, you get 15% more damage to enemy armor, which is excellent if you're going to be doing PvE stuff. But then it comes with Harmful, and Harmful is in the third slot, so you can easily just roll this off and put whatever you want on it. I'm personally not a huge fan of the Police MK17. I know other people who are. I've seen comments from some of you guys who said, you want to use the Police MK17, or you like it. So if you are looking for an upgrade, this could be a nice upgrade for you. And just as a little bit of a heads up, the military MK46 is also being sold this week at the same vendor. I put this in the heads up section because I've actually never used the MK46. I have always heard that it wasn't that great, but the talents on it aren't that bad. Competent, Dominant, and Vicious in the third. Vicious in the third is pretty nice. But yeah, if you don't have a lot of electronics, this may not work out for you anyway, but it's in the heads up section just in case you're looking for it. Guys, don't sleep on the heads up section. It's in the description, and it's in, I think, my first comment that I pinned. So if you see something, or later on, and you say, hey Con, you didn't talk about this in the video, it's probably in the heads up section. I had somebody say that to me last week. They didn't check in the heads up section. So, check it out. All right, guys, that is it for this week's Good or Garbage, episode 136. It is so crazy to think that 136 weeks of my life I have spent every weekend making these videos for you guys. So it is with heavy heart that I have to say this. Some of you guys who come through to the live streams know this already, but I will be visiting family in December, probably kind of late December, for some Christmas stuff and birthdays and all this other stuff. So I will be away from my computer. I will be away from all of that stuff, which means Good or Garbage is going to kind of be shut down. So we'll see you next week for it. But yeah.